Well, it was nice knowing you, Daniel Gecker. I don't know what you did, but it wasn't much. Certainly wasn't getting into orbit. Okay, that's horrible. Um, did get a long ways though before coming crashing to the ground at 200 meters per second. Stiff leg it, stiff leg it. I have faith in you. Aww, aww, poor Daniel Gecker. Um, well, I am gonna actually put this into safe mode, even though it's cheating. Because I do not want the life support to go away while I'm waiting for Irinami. And Irinami has two people in it. Peter Dawson. Peter Dawson is my next test subject. And I'm going to wait until daytime. Ooh, that is kind of pretty. Okay, that's daytime enough. Is it daytime here? Nope. So nighttime for there. Of course it is. So I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer. Okay. So here we go. Here is what our base looks like. I'm going to use Fanny Gorgeous. Here is our base, and Irinami is parked at Aurora Base. So yes, that's what I modeled it after. Didn't get it exactly. I had left out one of the life modules because I had thought the Delta Glider had it, but it didn't. Anyway, here's my Irinami. I should set the Irinami skin because it's called Irinami. So I'm going to repaint it to Irinami. Nope, not medical. Up one. There we go. So like the other one, this has turbo packs. But I noticed that we got the guy to get about halfway into orbit. So my theory goes, well, if he can get halfway with one turbo pack, he could get all the way with two. I am super evil. I know. It's amazing fun though. Wow, we used up a lot of air in waiting for that. But I'm at a base, so I could actually turn on the EPU and do stuff like that. But I won't. Open. So the key to doing this now is to wait. Okay. So Peter Dawson. The key to doing this now is to have one turbo pack on your back and one in your hand. So I have a hand object and a back object. So right here, if you look, I look like a turbo pack sandwich. Delicious. And let's see how well that does. I want to be facing 90 degrees. And yeah, so here goes everything. So what I'm doing now actually is I'm just getting my vertical speed to be kind of close to zero, because it doesn't matter how low I orbit, it just matters that I get into orbit. There's no air on the moon, so I could be orbiting at 1 meter. It'd just be very dangerous since, any little perturbation would send you crashing into the ground at a few kilometers per second. But I don't need to reach any specific altitude to be able to orbit, is what I'm saying. So I could keep my vertical speed fairly low and send most of my energy going towards um, horizontal speed. Because in the end, that's what really matters, is horizontal speed. So, just flying along. I like how his heart rate isn't up. He's not worried about this at all. He's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. Actually, he hasn't done it before, but that's okay. I can forgive him. Oh, that's it. So now I need to do this little thing. That is, take it off my back. And see, take it off my back. Let's move forward a little bit, like that. I'm going to quickly peek out here. And take it off my front, put it onto my back, and then grab the empty one. There we go. So I took the back one off, and then put the one I had in my arms onto my back, and then put the empty one, I started grabbing it again. Because my eventual goal is, once I get into orbit, to get picked up. Because I'm only going to survive in orbit for, 2 hours. So I'm going to have to get picked up by someone. And that someone is probably going to be Arinami, and he's probably going to want his turbo packs back. So, just nice to keep things around. So we're almost to orbit, actually. I am surprised. I am more than surprised. I am shocked, actually, that this is even possible. It is barely possible, though. We're going to have a pretty eccentric orbit, no doubt. But in orbit, a very eccentric orbit. There we go. Wow. That is a pretty interesting orbit. Nothing too bad, though. So, yeah, I just got into orbit. So let's kind of look forward, enjoy the view, and then call for evac, or call for pickup. So you can shut. I don't need to shut my nose cone, but I will. Is everything good to go? I want to target. Poor Peter Dawson. Projection. That's a sweet orbit. That's actually pretty good for not being able to see what I'm doing. So he took off to the 90 degrees, so I need to Ooh, I'll show you. I can show you the moon. I think it's 905. So Pro 905 Spec 90, because we took our astronaut off at 90. And this should work since we're not heavily ladened. Even full of fuel, we're only 22,000. So there we go, that's what it looks like. It's what it would have looked like on Earth, I should say. So there we go. The rescue boat is away, leaving Aurora Base. I am super happy that I was able to get the guy into orbit. That is shocking to me. I bet you I could stabilize his orbit too. I mean, once he gets up to the apogee, I could give him a little oomph, give him a little forward push, and keep him at that speed. So the moon ascent, instead of being like the Earth ascent, it will set the apogee up to 50-ish kilometers. There we go, 65. And then it'll just wait until you reach apogee, and then it will push you forward. And again, time warp is not allowed during autopilot. So So that just goes to show how comparatively weak the or the lunar gravity is compared to Earth. Well, I guess you haven't seen the turbo pack on Earth, but I mean, it's pretty amazing that a little guy with a jetpack could get into, well, two jetpacks could get into orbit, and he did. Um, oh, this poor guy. I feel sorry for him actually. I would be terrified. Like, what if no one's gonna come and get me? Am I just all alone? Um, so it also goes to show how powerful the turbo packs are. You can use them to drastically change your orbit even. Like, if I could do that much, I could theoretically land with the turbo pack, or with two turbo packs. Land from, like, jump out of an orbiting craft and land gently on the ground. Wouldn't have much fuel left to do anything once on the ground, but oh well. You'd be able to land. One of the scenarios for the Delta Glider is that it, on re-entry in Earth, something went wrong and all the crew had to eject, and you have to use the turbo pack. And there's a bunch of crew, and there's only two turbo packs, and you have to use the turbo packs to get the crew to a safe altitude, and then rescue them with another Delta Glider before they die. So that's a pretty complicated mission. Very challenging, a lot of fun. Oh, there we go. We entered the orbit rounding phase. I don't know if I could target. Yes! Peter Dawson. He is on his way. I bet you I could target him with the long-range antenna even. He's actually going faster than me right now. Like, even if I was at orbit speed, which I'm not, he would still be going faster than me because I'm above him. So, the antenna's coming out. I haven't showed you the antenna yet. The antenna's just a little antenna. It's kind of like the radiator. It's mostly aesthetic, but you can use it to set or find the distance of things or the orientation of things, and how far away it is. Already kind of went past that. So you deploy, you set a target. I want to set. Oh, I have to go through all. Oh, who was that? Nope. All of these. No. Wow. Daniel, no. Peter Dawson, set. So there we go. We have a signal acquisition. So D9 will give you this. So Peter Dawson tracking. He has a distance of 600 kilometers away, which I think breaks. Breaks Sarah Green's record for how far away from your mothership you are. And he's moving farther away with each passing moment. But so long as our horizon lines interact, then we will be within line of sight of each other. It's just a very extreme line of sight. Like Peter Dawson would be like over there somewhere. I can't actually set him as a docking target, can I? I can! Send it to the HUD. There he is, Peter Dawson. A few kilometers away. So yeah. I guess this has changed from going to the moon to rescuing a guy that went off on his own on the moon. And after this, then I'll move on to something else. I just wanted to see if it was possible to enter orbit. And it is, so that's exciting. D9 again. So yeah, it'll relative pitch is 14.1 degrees. So if I went to this, I could be like, well, there's 15, so 14 degrees is about there. Um, and relative heading is pretty much straight ahead. The one annoying thing is whenever this relative heading changes from 360 to 0, it makes a beep sound. So that gets kind of annoying when something is directly in front of you, because it'll be beeping quite often. Yeah. So the map, yeah, we're going away from everyone. And I can't time compress doing autopilot. So I will continue this in the next video.